fans out there, and maybe StarCraft fans in general. We're gonna do one more series. It's late already, and we kind of wanted to have the final series on the way by now, but since this series haven't started yet and there was nobody to guess it, we said, all right, we're gonna take it for the team thought. Let's do one more. Both players were good with it as well. They only had to wait like 1 more minute. It's going to be Zanster versus Stephano. The winner will advance to WCS EU Challenger.
Who's Zanster's avatar? I was trying to see.
That is...
Is that Patience?
Yeah, I think it's Patience.
Okay.
I mean, Patience has made some serious
I love how it's like a Stephano against Zanster, but like we see Nurture against Patience in the avatar. It's like, what are these guys even up to at this point? I'm
surprised that it's not Nurture against Nurture in this case, because that's going to happen.
The meme would be real.
It's going to happen in Challenger a lot. We're going to have to show you guys the loading screen every single time, because it's going to be fun. Alrighty, one last series today, and then of course we'll be back Friday. I assume that it's going to be 7 PM start time again as well. Can my producer confirm this? Or is it going to be at a different time? Alright, so 7 PM Central European time, Friday. WCS Austin EU Challenger. It's going to be amazing. $10,000 on the line. Europe's best in action. Thought that's going to be sick. Sick. Le sick. Is that a thing? Le sick?
No.
Well, I just
sick is not a French word. But we do say sick. Sick, not sick.
Alrighty. Over here in the right bottom side, we're looking at the French Zerg. Representing Meltdown, it is Stephano.
Not quite an ambassador, but he definitely is in a way, I'm sure.
I think his deal is better than mine, Todd.
His opponent playing as the Blue Zerg, representing Sweden, it's Zanster. The guy who got Grandmaster on NA, not ever taking gas. How did that make you feel?
Well, I got Grandmaster in Europe too, Todd. So.
Yeah, but he didn't take gas.
It's impressive, but I'm not surprised, because there are many strong Zerg builds with proxy hatcheries and queens and stuff like that. And the mechanics of a guy that can make top 16, top 20 on the European Grandmaster League ladder are so far superior to the bottom of NA Grandmaster League mechanics that I was not shocked by that at all. If anything.
However, you can justify it, I guess.
Why? I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to whine about Zerg? Like, I'm not
just joking. I wanted you to say Europe better, but it's an epic bait.
Well, I wasn't exactly at the bottom of GM on NA, but I thought I've been putting in some work. I was cruising around.
You were higher on NA than Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
I was rank 40, rank 50 on NA.
So?
Maybe one time I broke into the 30s when I was trying.
So what does it mean?
I mean, I think everybody knows that NA GM is a lot easier than Europe. I don't think that this is rocket science. Recently on Reddit, some people would discuss it, and some people said like, oh, the bottom of GM, there's actually not that much difference. I strongly disagree with that statement.
Really?
Yeah. There are Zergs in Europe that have like 5,600 MMR that play as well as some of the 6K MMR Zergs on NA. I genuinely mean that. Like a guy like Stuckymon. You know, Stuckymon is really good if you play against him.
Yeah.
And even like his MMR is kind of underwhelming in Europe.
It's strange too, because Stuckymon used to be like really not that good at all. You know, I went to a tournament in Bulgaria once, where he's from. It was like me, Daishi, and like Funka was there as an observer as well. And I think he was Stuckymon, I'm pretty sure, who went like 0-6 or 0-8 in maps in the big group that they were playing in. Hold on, we've got a couple Zerglings fighting here. Stephano's just going to be pulling back. Earlier third from Zanster, by the way. And +1 for Stephano on the way. Yeah, so Stuckymon, he went like 0-8. And I was like, damn, this guy really is like struggling and stuff. And now nowadays, he's become a really good player. Grandmaster, doing really well for himself. I remember actually, there was a thing that happens, like he would have killed you if you were there, because it killed Funka. Like, I don't know if he asked for a photo or something with me, and then we were about to take it, and then I said, say 0-8, and then he just laughed, and we took the photo.
That wouldn't kill me, that's just really mean, Todd. Why would I laugh?
He didn't take it badly, it was funny.
Oh, this poor guy. We've got +1 melee on the way for Stephano. That's cool to see him bust that out. It's not something you see super often. Zanster, for the people who are not that familiar with him, he may not have the same achievements as Stephano, but trust me guys, Zanster is a very, very strong Zerg with excellent mechanics as well. He plays incredibly fast. Takes a questionable fight here, I think, near the Queens. Queens have so much HP and actually decent DPS as well that I don't think that was the best link fight that Zanster could have taken.
Yeah, with the +1 on the way though, especially if Zanster does not read properly into this. This could be deadly here by Stephano to have this
And it's hard to scout it, but since it does make 6 roaches, obviously on Neilkirk, when you expand towards each other, it favors aggression. However, Stephano has taken the base on the north side of his natural. It's a little uncommon. That's a good wraparound there. Stephano definitely won the Ling battle.
Yeah, he's going to be more Ling heavy, and he's going to use the mobility of those guys. Keep in mind, there is no wall at the natural here of Zanster, so those Lings, they could potentially run by, and I'm pretty sure that's what Stephano is going to go into here. Eventually, he's going to have to run away here, be forced away from that third base, because there is enough roaches for Zanster. But like I said, a run by in the main base will be very quick to happen. And if you look at the top side of the map as well, on Zanster's side of the map, there is no overlords to really spot that, only on that potential fourth base. And that's very far on the left-hand side.
This would be the highway to heaven for Stephano, as there really isn't any eyes on the map there at all for Zanster. But Zanster does have quite a few roaches, and the roaches are superior, even when Lings have +1.
I think if Stephano attacks with everything at the front, he will be pretty bad against this many roaches. But maybe he gets some huge connections with those Banelings. He's going to force those Zerglings back at least.
He gets a couple of good detonations there on the roaches as well, but good micro by Zanster, morphing one of these roaches into a Ravager, but Stephano had enough. He's going to clean it up, and this Ling battle is going to be a piece of cake for Stephano.
And Zanster overextended big time here, moving in the middle of the map. I didn't think he was going to be doing that bad, but Stephano with some sick micro here, using his Banelings to the most of their ability. He's going to keep on streaming in there with more Links and Banes. And keep in mind, every Link that comes out from Zanster is exposed to being blown up by the Banelings of Stephano.
I think Stephano can maybe do enough damage here to at least put himself in a very good position. He picks up these queens. He's going to get one more roach as well. A couple of Banelings, or at least one Baneling shows up here for Stephano. I'm loving this +1 Ling style thought. And that fight in the middle of the map just went fantastic for Stephano.
Looks like Zanster is barely holding on, but the hatchery is going to go down here on the third base. Stephano starting to pull ahead in supply here with way more army, 38 against the 22 of Zanster, who's stuck on Ling Roach. And these Banelings, he's having a really hard time dealing with them, but at this point he might just be swarmed by pure Zerglings.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough firepower here for Zanster. His Lings just do not stand a chance against these Lings of Stephano. And Stephano will take a 1-0 lead. And at this point, it's just one map away from qualifying for WCS Austin EU Challenger. Todd. Stephano, he's still got it.
He's back in full force, and he's looking unstoppable right now here. Already beating Saltov, I think, is pretty impressive, but now against Zanster going up 1-0. Stephano really delivering.
Yeah, sort of was playing from Korea though, right? I think that is important to mention in case sort of is watching the broadcast and he's just like, guys, I had 250 ping.
I know I got mechanics, but they got limits.
You know, we didn't oil the machine this morning because the internet wasn't the same.
It's probably one of the better things to have, if you think about it, the mechanics, if you're going to be playing with delay. Imagine you're a micro-heavy player.
Yeah, and that would obviously be worse, but yeah, I think the worst thing, I mentioned this yesterday as well, when I think I was talking about Drogo going up against Zerg. What frustrates me the most when you play with latency, and latency is always annoying, but in some scenarios and some sort of games you can deal with it. But what is most frustrating is when very fast units are walking around, because you can't catch them and your clicks are delayed as well. Yeah. So even just like 4 speedlings in your base, when you have to pull probes and like, oh my god.
And you know exactly what it would be like if you didn't have delay, so you kind of feel helpless in regards to that.
That is the worst thing ever. All right, so we are good to go to hop into the second map. It's going to be played on Belshire. That could very well be the last game of the day. Maybe we'll see game 3 between Zanster and Stephano. If not, so it's going to be it. If we have any updates of the other games...
Where's Abyssal Rift, man?
Map 3. It's going to be...
It's ZvZ too, like maybe it doesn't matter as much.
We're closing out the day. I mean, maybe on maybe in ZvZ some Zergs don't love Abyssal that much because it can be frustrating with Lings running.
You need overlords everywhere.
Yeah, there's so many different attack paths. Just making sure that they are both still ready.
What's happened in the previous game might actually greatly affect how Zanster in particular, I think, plays, because he was the one that moved out, that misread the amount of links that there were, that misread that there was the +1. And then when you lose that initial army after that, it's really hard to come back. You lose that initial chunk of roaches. Why are you smiling?
Because of Stephano. Everything Stephano says to me just comes across sarcastic. Even when I can't hear his voice. Like I said this a while ago, there are 2 types of funny people in the world and also in the world of StarCraft. You have somebody like In Control, who I believe is like one of the funniest people I've ever met in life. But Jeff is funny, but he also knows that he's funny, you know, and he like, delivers the joke. So he knows it, and we love him for it. And then you have Stephano, who doesn't try to be funny, but for some reason, to me, is one of the funniest people I've ever noticed. The way that he speaks,
I think he tries to be funny.
The way that he chooses his words and the delivery on it. And even when he types, to me, it just comes across funny. Either way, we're ready to hop into game number 2. And it's going to be played on Belcher. Over here on the right bottom side, he's one map away from making it to Challenger. Going up against the big guns in Europe, the Snoots, the Nerdshows, the Showtimes, the U-Thermals. It's Stephano.
His opponent, playing as the Red Zerg. He needs to bring it back to keep the dream alive. It is Zanster. One of the funniest characters we have over in Europe.
He's a wild one, a special one.
Kind of reminds me of Nama a little bit.
Yeah.
Nama was a wild guy too.
I can totally see
They
that.
even look alike a little bit. Zanster's pretty tall though.
Nama is massive these days. Haven't you heard? He got really into fitness.
Really?
Yeah. No, he's big. Apparently he's, I don't know, he gained like a solid 30 pounds, I think, since his StarCraft days. And he was still a young kid, so obviously he was still growing as well. Yeah, Nama's this Finnish dude you don't want to mess with. He's pretty badass.
All StarCraft ex-pros move on to the great things apparently. When it's gonna be our turn, man. Going to MMA pro fighting.
That's the problem, Todd. I never move on. This is me. I'm like a dog in a bone. You give me something I like, I'll stick to it. Warcraft 3.
Yeah, for now, I think we're pretty far from going into anything else. That's where the passion is.
I have no desire, man. I've got a tattoo, Todd. I'm marked for life. Like, passion doesn't work in Hearthstone or any of those other games. Heroes of the Storm, please. StarCraft, RTS, that's what it's all about. We'll give StarCraft Remastered a try, and if we ever get lucky or fortunate enough to make it to see Warcraft 4.
Maybe start a little bodybuilding on the side, though. Blink style.
I mean, it's always fine to have separate projects that you're passionate about, whether it's real life or other games. But me, Todd, I'm a simple man. I can make Phoenix, I'm happy.
And DTs. Yeah. Phoenixes by themselves don't always do the job, do they?
No. They can't kill hatcheries. You need DTs for that. Bailing Nest being thrown down on the left top side for Zanster. Stephano wants to make sure that Zanster didn't go overly greedy. Didn't try to go up to 3 bases yet. No bailing nest yet for Elias, but he's throwing it down right now as we speak. So far, Todd, this is as mirror as they come between these two. Of course, if you win this match, you secure yourself with already 400 bucks, even if you lose every single match in Challenger. But obviously in Challenger, you can make it so much more. This is a fight that Stephano is winning, and he might get the drone as well. He really wants it.
He's chasing that away at least.
Is he going to get it,
That's a big win there.
Is he going to get it? No, he's not. Man. Oh, wow. We just got an update from our producer, and that is that Guru has 2-0'd Daishi. So that is a sad day for Terran, Todd. That means one Terran is absolutely not going to make it, and the best we can hope for is 2 Terrans into WCS EU Challenger.
And that's the 4th Polish player actually into that top 16.
Strongest nation in Europe, Todd, I told you.
Emil is going to be losing it once again.
Emil has been losing it since 2012. Ever since
He's been losing it since over a year now.
Yeah,
because Poland has been pretty darn good at this game.
He's like, this sweet dream just doesn't end. What's next? I'm gonna make it into Premier League too. Like, you know,
maybe.
It's gonna be an announcement soon. He's like, guys, you guys know I'm passionate, and I am, but I'm gonna stop guessing. And everyone's gonna be like, no, the Polish scene needs you. He's like, no, what you guys need is an all-Polish quarterfinals at a Premier League event. So here I am. I'm going full time. And then Emil will be the unfortunate guy that's gonna have like PC issues at whatever event we'll be at. I'm gonna see Emil lag one last time. As a player.
You just like made up an entire movie like in your head about this. Like, what is? Where do you get the imagination?
That's how my brain works. So far, still pretty close. Even though Zanster has taken a 10 worker advantage, which obviously means that Stephano has a few more links to work with. And it's safe to say, Todd, that he wants to get something done, but this time he doesn't have +1. He is getting +1 carapace, but it's going to take a while. The queens are a little bit exposed, but there are banelings everywhere in good position. Meanwhile, Stephano going for a run by. He damages a lot of the drones in the main, but that's it. Gets a lot of links into the natural, Todd. A lot of crazy stuff is happening right now.
Yeah, he's running past those banelings here. Stephano trying to do some more economic damage here onto Zanster, who's ahead by 2 drones right now. Those banelings, such a huge threat, but for the most part, so far, they've been avoided.
Oh my god, he just ran by. And there's a lot of low HP drones in the natural because of that one bane, but Stephano doesn't want to throw away all his links, so he won't go for it.
Beastie Cutie against Denver is currently going on, by the way, guys. If you want to check that out on both Gaming and Tech TV, Denver is up 1-0.
Oh my god. Utermo. He's raising the Terran flag right now. He's putting on the Raynor's jacket, you know, like the Raynor's, the Terran jacket that Mike Morheim likes. He's putting it on. He's like, don't worry, guys, I'll hold on the fort.
I got this. 1 Terran in the 16, I'll still win that thing.
I encourage all StarCraft fans right now that if BC does not make it, I want to see some cool fan art by Friday. I want to see it on the front page of Reddit. I want to see Utermo defend the Terran Pride against the invasion that is all these Zergs and Protoses. Mostly Zergs, actually, that are making it. That should be very doable.
It's pretty early to call it. Like, Beastie Cutie seems to be winning game number 2 against Denver.
Well, then I still want a graphic, but then with Beastie, Utermo!
The 2 brothers.
I want some cool fan art, Todd. Meanwhile, Queens are hunting Overlords. Good job there by Stephano. Even though, you know, all jokes and memes aside, Stephano's run by in the main, it looked explosive, but he didn't truly get what he was hoping for. But he does have +1 carapace, so it's not like Stephano is incredibly far behind, but he is behind right now, and he needs to get something done to eventually even things up.
Taking 3 extractors at once right now. Like in the walker count, they are about even, but army supply, Zanster with a big lead. And getting these upgrades that much earlier here with Glea Reconstitution, going into Burrow pretty quickly. You have to wonder, does he want to go into tunneling claws there to try and get in every single mineral line of Stephano, who's already behind in walkers and definitely doesn't want to be going to spores or extra overseers.
We mentioned it before, Zanster, just like Sorov, is an incredibly fast Swedish Zerg, so when it comes to builds like that, when it comes to creating chaos around the map, having roaches with tunneling claws in multiple bases at once, he knows how to do that, Todd, and if you go up against somebody that's as good and fast as Zanster, it's a nightmare to deal with. However, of course, Stephano has gone up against something like that multiple times. +1 is on the way for both players. Obviously, Zanster's +1 is a little bit faster.
Yeah, Zanster taking a big supply lead here thanks to the Ro8 production. He's very consistent with it. No more drones are being made. And I'm feeling he might want to go for an attack here with that +1 missile eventually. We'll see.
A Dropper Lord would be good for
Yeah,
Stephano,
there it is. Clear reconstitution. Turning class, sorry, starting for Zanster, who knows that he's going to have more army, more roaches, and more initiative here in this game.
Wouldn't it have been good, Todd, for Stephano to have like 1 Dropper Lord in this phase in a game and put 8 Zerglings in the main? Like players like Bly always do it, and I feel like it makes sense because people mostly worry about the
It just sucks if you do that and then the opponent attacks across the map and he has too much and you're missing the Zerglings.
That's true, especially after he had a rough early game. Stephano needs to buy some time. As long as he can max out, he will obviously have a good fighting chance.
He's catching up in supply. Remember, Stephano was the OG who, against Protoss, got a sick record time maxing out on pure roaches.
Makes quite some money with it. A couple of Ravages are being morphed. Stephano's just going to take this fight as his +1 has just finished up. This is a fight that is winnable for the French Zerg. The Ravages were a little late to the party. The Lings from Stephano are also going to try to run into the natural on the top side of the map. I will show it to you guys soon, but first this Roach battle. I think
they're going to do a lot, these Lings, actually. Already sniping 4 drones. If he was to micro that, right now he's busy looking at the Roaches. They're going to run straight into the main, and they force so many drones of Zanster to be transferred towards the 3rd base. And he wins that fight in the middle of the map.
Yep, a couple of Roaches will survive. Amazing performance here by Stephano, turning it around, killing 12 drones already, getting a Roach perhaps for his efforts as well. I think the only thing that's missing right now, Todd, is maybe Stephano trying to cancel this fort, but 21 drones.
Zanster could have borrowed drones, he forgot about it. So instead he transferred and he lost a ton of them in the main as well. With 21 drones dying, it feels like he has to replace them, but then he will have less Roaches than Stephano.
And don't forget that Stephano also had an upgrade advantage, of course, because he had carapace from the beginning of the game. So that fight was 1-1 against 1-0.
Stephano, I believe he noticed the tunneling class as well of Zanster because of that fight. So now he has to make sure he has enough overseers back at home.
The one issue is that a couple of Stephano...
He gets it.
That's nice. That's not supposed to happen.
What a sniper.
He's been watching that series, Shooter. It's a good series, Todd. I recommend
hope not
it.
for him.
Todd, you haven't even seen it and you're already hating on my suggestion.
I already know it's bad.
No.
That's how good I am at knowing my TV
Guys,
shows.
if you're out there and you watch the series Shooter on Netflix and you think it's good, please send Todd a tweet. What is your Twitter these days? @YohnMallow?
Yeah.
Let him know it's good. It's a recommendation by Ro8, but he will never take my word. Maybe if enough of you guys out there recommend Shooter to him, he's going to give it a go. You
really don't watch that many shows, do you?
I do.
What are the shows you watch?
Blacklist, Shooter, Californication. What?
Don't ever recommend a show to me. Big counter-attack right now by Zanster.
Oh, no, +2, Todd. It's 7 seconds away.
Wow, we were so close as well. Zanster, this might make Stephano go for an attack here. He's got quite a bit more army supply right now. 139 against 106. He's going to move up the ramp, and I think Zanster's just not ready, whereas at home, sure, he's got more, but Stephano's got plenty of time to regroup, make more roaches, use the queens, and try and defend properly against this.
Oh my god, there's so many roaches over here by Stephano indeed, and he's just moving in, no time to waste.
There's some in the fourth base of Zanster chasing drones away, and I think Zanster is just going to be overwhelmed there.
Yeah, Zanster is only winning 1 out of the 3 fights right now, and that is in the main of Stephano. But can he ever clean up all these units? I highly doubt it. And I think that Stephano thought, he said he was truly trying. He said he really wanted to qualify for WCS EU Challenger. I think he's gonna do it, man. One of the most successful foreigners of all time, or maybe the most successful foreigner of all time, will make it into Challenger in 2017.
Very impressive here. I don't think in that game he was in a particularly great position, but Stephano once again showed his initiative. Those Zerglings, he's become a bit of a master with them. Like for the longest time, he's been like that. Remember his series against Puck over at Dreamhack? Yeah. He was just links run by all over the place. And here, once again, takes a fight that's, I guess, good enough in the middle of the map that he ends up winning thanks to the reinforcements and those Zerglings across the map. Really put him ahead, and then from there, he did exactly what he needed to do to secure the win. Yeah, awesome performance by Stephano. It's been a long day for us, guys. We know almost everybody that will be playing. Tomorrow is a rest day. We'll be back on Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. Before we're going to go ahead and close out the show, just to make you guys a little extra excited, let's go to my screen real quick, and I'll show you guys the players that will come in action on Friday. Todd, this lineup, I think it looks awesome, right? Oh, it's sick. I mean, if you're Terran, you're going to be cheering for, oh boy, Euthermal. But we've got a ton of Zergs. To be honest, in Europe these days, we have a lot of crazy good Zergs. Like all of these guys. Nurcho in particular, I think, stands out with Snoot in there. Serral, big names. And Protoss. Most of them made it through these last few qualifiers. Not just the ladder, where it was Showtime and Harstem that made it there. $10,000 will be on the line, and of course we know that Stephano is in there as well. And last but not least, it's going to be either Beastie or Denver. You guys can hop over to Tech TV and Gaming. All right, Tech TV and Gaming. 1-1. Ooh, that's awesome. So maybe we're gonna have 2 Terrans, or maybe it's just going to be 1. Todd, any final words? Till we'll be back. Don't watch Blacklist, just watch StarCraft, and there are way better shows out there. Thanks to you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 days from now. Friday, 7 p.m. European Central Time. Thank you guys for watching, and see you then. One game away from the crowd.